If the previous set of tools we demonstrated weren't enough for you, you're in luck because there are even more tools that will allow you more creative ability when dealing with your primitive objects and editing them accordingly. Two that I really like that Blender offers for us include the loop cut tool and the knife tool. We're going to start with the loop cut tool. The loop cut tool can be used on any editable objects. You do have to remember that you're in edit mode when you access these tools. What it's going to do is it's going to create a cut through your object, either horizontally or vertically. Simply hover over your object to see the outline of where the cut's going to be made, and then either click and let go to have a cut instantly in the middle of your object, or click and hold to drag that cut up or down, left or right, precisely where you want it to be. In this case, I drag the loop cut to the top and the bottom to, say, maybe select a few faces and do an extrusion, so that way we see perhaps like a ledge, a seam, an extension of some sort at the top of this box or building. So I do that extrusion and then change my mode. This is referenced in a previous video, extrude along normals. If you saw when I tried to extrude there after doing my loop cuts, it extrudes vertically, but it doesn't look very good. It almost smashes it on top of itself. My intention was to extrude along the normals, meaning the directions that the polygons are facing. So I can hold, change extrude along normals, and then you can see that it pushes out my extrusion in the way that I expect. This almost looks like a small end table, an altar, some sort of a podium now that I've done that correctly. I can go around my shape and do another one at the bottom of my object. That way these two ends are a bit symmetrical. Back to my extrusion, make this one a little bit larger, and now we look a little bit more like an inverted column, or again a little bit more like an altar of some sort. Going back to my different cut tools, so we showed the loop cut. There is an offset edge loop cut. This offset edge loop cut we won't dig into too much. Let's jump to the knife tool. The knife tool is a method for cutting new topology, meaning that I'm going to click and drag, and it's going to cut through my object based on where I click next. So let's just click vertically through this object. And once I have, you can see that it's cut new points into my object, and it's cut completely through those few areas. Oops, sorry, hotkeys are getting away from me. So once again, let's start by actually just selecting a face, see if we can get a better cut. So with that face selected, and then hit enter, you can see that it's cut through my object. And it's cut through the visible parts of my object. So there are some options to occlude geometry, choose only selected geometry. So let's click that and try again. That way we're only cutting through geometry that I've selected. We can choose X-ray, so that way it would cut through the entire bit of geometry. Hit enter, and you can see that it's cut completely through. And you can choose occluded geometry, which means anything I can't see it won't cut. So why would we use this knife tool? Well, there's several reasons. A complicated reason is, what if we were making this pillar and wanted to make it seem cracked or destroyed or something like that? We could cut through it and then delete faces and give the illusion that some of this had fallen off. But frequently we may find ourselves just wanting to cut through a particular part to make a different design, or maybe just exclude a certain part that we want extruded. And the knife tool gives us a nice control over that. it may not be as precise as, say, the loop cut tool. The loop cut tool I really appreciate just because it can cut evenly and cleanly through your object. And if you notice, it even cuts through my object in a way that follows the kind of the flow of the geometry. So it gave an angle there versus being straight. So it does a really nice job. The knife tool is maybe for a little bit more irregular cutting, and I'm sure you'll find reasons for the knife tool in your upcoming exercise. So that's it, the knife, the loop cut tools. I will also mention that perhaps if you do want to remove some items, that selecting an object and pressing the delete key gives you the option to delete vertices, edges, faces. It gives you a context menu pretty quickly. So if you click on faces, it's going to delete the faces. If you press the delete key and you choose vertices, it'll delete those vertices, and then because of that, it deletes those faces. So when you're deleting things, I have a habit of just pressing the delete key and thinking it's going to go away, but there's a context for what it wants you to delete. Does it want you to dissolve faces, meaning take all of your, let's say, let me show you an example. Let's subdivide this, and then let's select these, and then hit the delete key and dissolve faces. So I deleted faces, yes, but it dissolved them all into one. That could be what I want. So as you're working through your more complex edits using the knife and the loop cut tool, and find yourself wanting to delete faces or delete edges or so forth, just know that when you hit the delete key, you're going to get this context menu and choose the one that's right for you.